put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago, as we continue to give God thanks for life. I am Julian Skeet.
And I am Adana Kumbi. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. It is Tuesday, 12th March 2024. We're almost coming to the end of the first quarter of the year, and I'm telling you, I feel as if this year is running down. You know, just the other day we came on here and was saying Happy New Year to you, and here we are almost at the end of the first quarter. Julian, I know you missed me yesterday, but I am back. But here's what I missed you all of last week. I know we were celebrating women, and we were, highlighting their input into societies and their jobs and their workplace and their communities and stuff. But I missed you. I missed you.
Indeed. And I was saying I didn't get to see the entire week, but I was very pleased. I got a glimpse to sit down and go back and listen to the interview with Miss Ramadan. Really amazing. Really,
awesome. Yes.
Amazing in terms of this story. And I know from experience, I am one of those that certainly she would have impacted over that time. So kudos again, certainly going out to all our ladies on the outside. And I wanted to make this, to repeat this again, since we have, once again, we have Biana here and we have Adana here. We look forward to similar types of celebrations taking place for all our men folk out there in studio. Look out for that dynamic week that will come as we celebrate International Men's Week. Note I've reformed it from International Men's Day. International Men's
Week. I'll see that it happens.
At Tobago Updates. They say, speak it in. And you shall see the things happening as we go forward. All right, viewers, at this point, we head on over to news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Julian and Adana. Here is your news in 90 seconds for Tuesday, March 12, 2024. A 20-year-old Tobago resident, Jamal Samuel from Signal Hill, has been charged with the murder of 28-year-old Wana Kareem and the injury of another 28-year-old on January 1, 2024. The charges include murder, shooting with intent to cause grievous bodily harm, possession of a firearm, and possession of ammunition. Samuel appeared virtually before Master of the High Court Sarah De Silva in Scarborough and was remanded into custody. His next court appearance is scheduled for June 3, 2024. One private promoter is attempting to fill the void after the Tobago Jazz Experience was cancelled by the THA. Black Two Sugars announced a Tobago Jazz and Music Weekend from April 25th to 28th. The event promises diverse, budget-friendly experiences featuring artists like Grammy Award winner Arturo Tapin, along with Ilan Paley and Vonette Bigford. The weekend comprises Jazz, The Two of Us, Come In Poolside Lime, Beachfront Jazz at Starfish Hotel, and the grand finale, Brunch on the Greens at Fairies Restaurant and Lounge. The National Security Joint Select Committee rejected opposition member Rudal Munilal and Jacinth Luchman Medial requests to investigate recent events at the Strategic Service Agency. This includes the director's administrative leave, the appointment of an acting director, and a review of the agency's operation. Committee Chairman of the National Security Joint Select Committee, Keith Scotland, stated that the request was denied following proper parliamentary procedures. Mulilal expressed disappointment, citing a lack of official information, and suggests the committee could have met in camera to address sensitive matters. The events in question stem from the National Securities Council recommendation to replace the head of the Strategic Service Agency, sending him on administrative leave and inciting a review of the agency. And finally, Haitian Prime Minister Ariel Henry has resigned amid escalating chaos in the nation, marked by gang attacks and imminent social collapse. In a video address late last night, Henry announced his government's departure upon the establishment of a transitional council emphasizing the need for peace and stability. Henry, facing pressure and unrest, has been unable to return to Haiti since his trip to Kenya and will remain in his role until the formation of a new interim government. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Thank you very much there, Biana. Certainly a moment, folks, for us to continue to keep praying for Haiti. We know the challenges that they have certainly been through, and coming to this point where there appears to be some transition that will be taking place. We definitely want to ensure that we keep our brothers and sisters out there in Haiti in our prayer that that transition will indeed be a smooth one after much effort over time.
That's right. That's right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to head on over to our birthday shout-outs. And on screen and celebrating a birthday today, a lady who I consider to be larger than life, Miss Vaughnette Bigford. She is celebrating a birthday today, and we want to say a very happy birthday to you, Miss Bigford. We do hope that you enjoy, well, we expect that you would enjoy knowing the person that you are. I'm sure you've put things in place to celebrate the life that has been granted to you, so we want to wish you a very, very happy birthday today.
And I think she's on that return jazz cast for this year. Not the jazz hosted by the Tobago House of Assembly, but the private sector hosting of some element of the jazz that will be taking place this year. Happy birthday, Vaughnette Bigford. We have on screen none other than Pastor Lowell Otley. And this morning we want to wish you a happy birthday, Pastor Otley, and continued blessings. And this is coming from your entire family, wife, Minette, all the children, your cousins, Laverne, Verneris, your uncle, aunts, the entire family are sending out birthday greetings to you and continuing to wish you the very best. And most certainly, even your classmates and colleagues and friends here at Tobago Updates, wishing you the very best, Pastor Lowell Otley.
And next we have DeRosa Kennedy. DeRosa Kennedy is celebrating a birthday as well. And we want to wish you a very happy birthday. I pray that God continues to bless you and keep you, and that you enjoy every moment of this new chapter in your life. Happy birthday.
Yes, and we also have on screen this morning, we're celebrating Zach Williams, and we're sending out belated birthday greetings and certainly continuing to celebrate and to enjoy life. And we want to continue to wish you the very best, a young, productive gentleman. And you know, when you see young men who are moving along a productive path, it's really to continue to encourage, because of course they will continue to play a critical role in making their contribution in our society. So today we pause to say happy birthday blessings going out to Zach Williams. Yes, and we have Miss Thelma, should I say Mrs. Thelma Roberts of Runnymede, Tobago. And this greeting is coming from her loving husband, Ernest Roberts, her 4 caring and loving children, Carmen, Georgette, Olson, and Ronnie, and her brother, Lordrick, and her sisters, Myrna and Marilyn. And she was 94 years. That's last week she celebrated, and she celebrated in fine style. And indeed, we continue to wish her the very, very best, Mrs. Thelma Roberts. And in fact, we move from one to another in terms of these kind of grand celebrations.
That's right.
We also have on screen, this is Miss Elsa Cadies, and that's the mother of Sharon Mills, and we are sending out birthday shout outs going out to her. This weekend she celebrated 85 years. And this greeting is coming from her children, grandchildren, great-grands, of course, Miss Mills out there, Miss Sharon Mills. We want to wish you the very best, Miss Elsa Cadies, as you celebrate 85 years. And when you're calling those years, Adana, you have to say it slowly.
That's right, for it to
because
register.
I look forward to
That's
and hope
right.
that I will be in good health and
that
living
stage,
and
that's
being able
right.
to enjoy life even at that age, most definitely.
And you know what I like about these ages is that the younger generation gets to enjoy and embrace, because sometimes you hear about young people and they don't really get to spend that time with their grandparents. And I'm thinking back of the times I got to spend with my grandparents, and it's just so beautiful. Or the cousins are there and you're just having a grand time. So I really look forward to being able to have that experience with my own offsprings and the generations that will come from from me and my own, you know.
Yes,
so
yes,
that's what I look forward
indeed.
to.
And I can't help, folks, when I hear Dana say that, I go into my mood.
Hey.
Be fruitful and multiply if you want to see those generations. Indeed. Don't stop at 1, 2, 3, 4. Go brave in Jesus' name. All right, back to the show this morning.
Listen to me.
Viewers,
take your advice
only on Tobago updates.
That's right.
Only on Tobago updates, indeed. Adana, who do we have on our rundown this morning?
Right, of course, this morning we're having conversations with Dexter Plant. Dexter Plant this morning is the managing director of Dexter Promotions, and we're talking about, well, no Tobago Jazz experience, but we got some updates on the news in that. We're speaking about the Hush All-Inclusive Breakfast Party. We're also having conversation with Veneric Cupid, founder of Movement Professionals Dance Company. We Must Dance School Tour Phase 1 recap, and we're heading on into Phase 2 as well. Phase 2 is loading. And we round our conversations with Irvin Padia, president and founder of Men of Purpose. Yes, Men of Purpose. The world needs a father workshop, and I do agree. And so I'm interested to have these conversations this morning as we speak about these matters affecting and, you know, impacting the lives of people in and around the Tobago. We're always so happy that you join us, that you've chosen us, and we just want to say a special good morning to all our viewers who are online, our viewers who are on our Facebook Live commenting there. We thank you so much for your beautiful remarks. Our followers on our YouTube channel and also on Amplier 102. We want to say thank you each and every morning for choosing Tobago Updates, the morning show, and making us the #1 morning show in Trinidad and Tobago.
And I love the energy of our viewers. Adana, when I just made that comment, I saw the likes going up. Certainly, folks, we've got to take care of our nation and our island. We've got to look forward to the future. Want to shout out on the live with us this morning, Cheryl Williams joining in, Miss Sharon Mills, yes, Travis Moses, Joseph Roy also on the live with us this morning, faithful viewer Pearl Murray Beard and Auntie Dora Lyons. Good morning to each and every one of you. Donna Parks Green, my very good friend out there, Liesel James, Mrs. Charles out in Susulans, Crystal Tom Washington, continuing to support the Tobago Updates morning show. Uncle Carly up there in the east, we want to say thank you so much for continuing to tune in each and every day. And at this point, to remind you viewers that it is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live.
It's March Madness at Standard Distributors Limited. Get $100 back for every $1,000 you spend. Major appliance deals on Frigidaire, Hyacinth, Samsung, and more. Plus, same-day financing options available. Don't miss out. Sale ends March 31st. Standard, never beaten on quality and prices. Scrub Ties brings to you our organic fat dissolving shots. Yes, guys, our lemon butter shot breaks down stubborn fat, tightens any loose skin while increasing your metabolism. No side effects, no downtime. We also offer cavitation, cellulite treatment, butt, breast, hip dip fillers, weight loss, fertility IVs, and much more. Contact us on 495-6624 or follow us on Instagram at Scrub Ties Body Contouring.
JK Tech, we bring technology to your doorstep. From cutting-edge laptops to reliable printers, we've got it all. Nationwide delivery and a new website for easy online ordering. JK Tech is your one-stop shop for your electronics and computer needs, carrying top brands such as Acer, Samsung, HP, and much more. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at JKTechTT or visit jktechtt.com. Quality tech is just a click away. JK Tech. Evaluate your shopping experience, your tech, your way. Call or WhatsApp 383-2651. Shop smart, shop JK Tech.
Hello everyone, it's your boy Harry here from Authentic Car Clinic, located right here in Tobago at Storebay Local Road. You can WhatsApp us or call us at 366-4173.
put a smile on your face. When you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. I am Adana Kambi, and I'll be interviewing our first guest in studio this morning. I'll be speaking to Venerick Cupid, and he is the founder of Movement Professionals Dance Company. We Must Dance School Tour. We're talking about the updates on the first edition, and also we're talking about the edition 2 loading. Good morning and welcome to our program this morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me this morning.
And thank you for being here. And of course, some of our viewers who are not familiar with this school tour, we want to talk a little bit about it, but we want to know first of all, what is this school? What is this We Must Dance? Why this team? Why this topic? Why this name? What was the genesis behind it and the idea for giving it this name?
From the inception of my dance company, which is Emperors, we have always had this slogan, this mantra, we must dance, which means no matter where, no matter when, no matter what, once music playing, we start dancing. And that has been something that has been motivating us throughout the years. So when we would have decided to do a school tour, right, we was thinking, what is something short and sweet that we could use that could tell the kids what we're coming there to do and to inspire them at the same time? And 3 words says it: we must dance.
You know, it's like when they say you mustn't waste good food.
Yeah.
So don't waste good music, so let's dance,
Yeah.
you know. So I like the idea, and of course the movement with it also provides this kind of physical movement.
Yes.
And also it kind of works on your mind as well. It relaxes your mind and brings you, you're looking as if I really get into the mind and the heart and the pulse of your idea.
Of course. It's a passion, and it is one of the most rewarding things that we as Tobagonians and as dancers on the island have ever done. And this is coming from individuals that would have gone to world championships and performed in front of thousands of people. But working with the young people, working with the next generation and the students, it was so rich and fulfilling because they truly appreciated everything that we would have brought to them during the tour.
So what when you say what you brought to them to the tour, what did you bring to them? Because I want to experience it from this side of the conversation.
Okay, so how I like to consider it, I like to think of it as we would have given each viewing student and even teachers a mini vacation during the couple minutes that we were at each school. So what we would have done, we would have compiled a team which would have comprised of my dance company, some cultural practitioners like Mr. Dion Briggs, I like to call him Professor Dion Briggs, and Mr. Darrell Silvert Gregg, some of the cultural drummers, and we would have gone to, we started off at Compre, went to Mason Hall and finished at Speyside, where while we were there, we would have performed, showing the young people that, okay, this is us dancing. We would have engaged them, meaning that we would have had little activities for them, brought up a lot of the young men on stage. And let me just say, the young men and the young women, but especially the young men, they were extremely willing. We had students rushing to come up on stage just to participate. And when they participated, participation along the lines of we would have given them certain dance moves, some trendy and some folk, and allow them to do it and put their spin on it. And they were rewarded with little tokens that was put together by the whole team.
Right, and I was just about to ask, what genre of dancing, like what type of music do you dance to, and what style of dancing do you engage them in?
We engage them in hip hop, we engage them in Afrobeat, and we engage them in folk. And we also give them some stick fighting too, just to give them something a little bit, out of the ordinary. And they ate up everything. It was to the point that...
This is you here?
Yeah. Oh, that is me, like, giving them, they teach me how to dougie, like, little thing a little bit. Yeah. And they were so willing to the point that it had us thinking that, hey, we should have brought more tokens, because
Right.
the students and them were literally running up on stage. We said we need 1, and they're getting 7 and 8 and 9 running up.
So this is a plug here for sponsorship, for corporate sponsorship to come.
I do hope that we get more sponsorship. I'm glad to say that this time around we did get some sponsorship, and I'm not going to be one of those individuals that said that I did everything by myself. One of our gold sponsors was definitely Fog Angels, Tobago Carnival. We would have worked with them in the past, and from the time I reached out to Telecruise and Kerry was like, hey, we're going to put this towards you guys. You guys have been doing great work. Our platinum sponsorship, however, would have come from the Division of Tourism, especially Secretary Boris and Dr. Thomas and Let me just take a second to just mention this really quick. A lot of individuals would have come to me and say, well, yo, I love the work you're doing on the island and we want to help. Secretary Boris was the only person that I know that said, hey, if I have to dip into my pocket to make sure that you get money to cover the expenses, and she did. That is how we were able to execute everything, to get transportation, to get the drummers, to get the media unit. It was a lot of support from Dr. Thomas and Secretary Boris, and I must thank them. And even some of the silver sponsorship, which is individuals that just gave what they had. I had individuals such as Savor the Delights, and even some friends of mine like Faraba, everybody dipped in to say, well, hey, you guys go in front of the kids. Let me put this towards it. Let me put a 500 or 300. Let me buy a case of snacks to put towards the bag. And it was extremely appreciated.
And that is something that I want to commend all the sponsors who came on board to make sure that this event was a success. Our young people, they just want to know that somebody cares, that somebody's investing in them. So kudos to you and kudos to those of you who came on board. That off well, and that the young people, the children, felt that measure of somebody cares, somebody's taking time to be here. And what are some of the things that you're hoping to achieve from continuing these tours?
Well, funny enough, I kind of got bad up a little bit, and it's one of those Tobago things. So one of the schools and them that wasn't involved in the tour, I spoke to one of the teachers, one of the dance teachers and them recently, which is Goodwood, and she said that she felt a bit left out, Goodwood. she part of Goodwood. And she said, you know what, why didn't you all come to Goodwood? Goodwood will love this initiative. And that is the sort of feedback we have been getting from other schools, which we are very thankful for. And I would have told her, since it was the first time we're doing it, we didn't want to take on a large tour without knowing what the kinks are, right? So they were definitely expressed interest in phase 2, and phase 2 is scheduled for next month, which is in exactly about 4 weeks, about the middle of next month, and that is where we'll be going into production mode. And the thing about this, I like coming and speaking in this kind of way because it actually allows me to keep my word and rise to the challenge.
Because we have it on record.
Of course. And anybody knows me, they know once I say something, I will do it, whether it's day or night. And the goal for next month, which is phase 2, we are going to be making a Tobago production, which means that we're going to be having some of the students and them from each of the schools be a part of a little video dancing with us. And that video will comprise of some trendy, but especially the folk part, which is something authentic to Tobago. And I'm talking about, I would like to have them in dress code, looking the part, so anybody from beyond Trinidad and Tobago who looks at it, they could be able to identify this is Tobago.
Unique to Tobago, that's right.
Exactly. And I think that the students themselves will feel extremely proud to see themselves and see some of their fellow students getting this sort of shine up, getting this sort of publicity, or getting to see themselves in something bigger than themselves. And that is what I would like for each of the students and them that are interested.
Awesome. And how does somebody become a part of your group or your foundation? How do we, members of the public, or maybe students might want to join? How do they join?
Well, the good thing about that, we are very, very social media friendly. You could just reach out to us. And a lot of the students would have come up to us directly after and would have asked for pictures or even that same information, how to be a part. And we would have told them that you could also join Chancellor Dance, which is the little brother to our program, which is Mr. John Chapman. He is the CEO of that, and they will train them from, even if they're not accustomed dancing, up to performance level. Right. So if it is that you're definitely interested in dancing, even if you think you have 2 left feet like I do, you could definitely.
I didn't see 2 left feet there with that. Teach me how to ducky.
Oh. But what I'm saying is, I believe dance is for everybody, and I know that part of what I was going wrong, bringing awareness to yesterday, was the lack of the young men involved, and I could sit here probably today and say that the talk where the young men are interested, all that is a bunch of baloney, because we have young men on the island that are willing. We had a lot of young men that was interested on stage, and I'd like to shout out 3 young men, 1 from each school. In Compre, there was a young man named, his nickname was Prezi, right? And his swagger alone had the crowd going crazy. In Mason Hall, there was a young man named Billy. He is my favorite student dancer from that tour. He blew me away at every chance he got. And in Speyside, there was a young man named Sheldon. And he was just so willing, so eager, even though he wasn't too familiar. You could see that the interest was pushing him forward. And what we need to do as young men, as people, as Tobagonians, we need to encourage young people to do and to engage in positive outlets, because the violence and the crime and everything is having a hold on them too much, and they like dancing, they will like singing, they will like sports. We shouldn't allow outside negativity to penetrate our young people.
That's right.
So I'm really, really happy that the students and them gravitated to what we brought to them, and it goes back to what I said. People saying that it's not possible. I believe that it is the how you do it, and sometimes it is the who does it, that will determine somebody's interest in a project.
And I'm really excited and interested to see where this goes, because you're talking about, I mean, you've identified 3 young men, but you've also spoke so much about the fact that the young men were the ones that were coming forward and being very interested and really wanting to, because, you know, men, they want to show themselves. And that is, I love that. I love the fact that they took the opportunity to say, okay, I've got this talent, or I've got this interest, I'm interested in this, I don't know about it, but I want to try at least. And I want to see some measure of mentorship for these young men. I want to see some measure of more activities like this going into the schools. And even when the tours go into the schools, when we see them having the interest, capture them and place them somewhere and say, listen, I'm going to mentor you, I'm going to groom you, I'm going to bring you up. So we need more partners to come on board. When we have these types of activities. We don't just want to go into the schools, do the thing, leave them there, and then move on to the next school. And what happens? And as you rightfully said, it penetrates that measure of crime, so that they have interest in something else and they're not interested in the crime.
Correct. And also, allow me to say that sometimes, and this is for anybody who's thinking about engaging young people or getting young men interested, sometimes the way to communicate is not the traditional way. What we realize is that going in front of students and talking for 20 minutes, young people, even myself, sometimes have a very short attention span. So that is why we took our model. We would have gone and given them a sort of music and something that they would have liked, a very clean, but something that they could identify with, and then use that to introduce the folk. Right? So the whole We Must Dancer was more to really target the men, but we cannot really leave out the young ladies. We cannot have done that. And that is the way that we will continue doing things going forward, because our target audience was the students. We have to go to them in a way that they could understand, that they could decipher what we're trying to tell them. And they would have felt, and I'm just telling you this based on the feedback we got from the student, they would have felt seeing men dancing, seeing that all-male cast dancing and putting on a show. They didn't know they needed that kind of representation until they saw it on that day. Because before we started dancing, they were very timid. When they saw us dancing, and then they were saying that, how the rest of students reacting, they engaged, they love it. It inspired something in them. It triggered a flame in them that said, hey, I would like to express myself that way too. And that was the whole reason behind it all, to get them to express themselves in a different way.
Venerick, I want to wish you the very best. This is something I want to buy into. This is something I want to see how the investment in this goes and the outcomes and how far we can go with this. I'm seeing so many different things where this is concerned. So I want to wish you and your team the very, very best as you continue, as you head on to production mode. And who knows where next you will go. And, all the best. Congratulations to you. Thank you. And, corporate Tobago, let us get on board. Let us join hands. We can't do it alone. No man is an island. We all need each other. And so this group is doing their thing. And so we're calling on you to join as we, impact the lives of our young people here on Tobago for positive change, positive impact, and positive outcomes. Congratulations and all the best. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been speaking with Venerick Cupid, and he is the founder of Movement Professionals Dance Company, Empros, talking about going into the schools and talking to our young people and showing them that, hey, you can shake a little, you can shake a leg and enjoy yourself and do something that is safe and keeps you out of trouble. We are going to go for a short break before we continue conversations in studio with our guest. And of course, before we go, we're going to invite you to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
The best place to stay in Tobago is at Thorn's Place, with rates starting as low as 200 TT. Call or WhatsApp 745-7306 or 682-8676. We are located uptown Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port. Remember, at Thorn's Place, our aim is to make your stay safe and affordable. Tobago, baby!
When we outside, it's an ocean of love. All that we align to the stars up above. Let we dance now, take a chance now with me. And we go jump till morning. Look, the moon don't sleeping. Tell them we not leaving. Till the last drop of bacchanal is madness in the capital. So I feel like I run in tongue again. Jump and shake the ground again. Live with all my friends and them. No place like home. We go jump till the moon come down. It's we who the stars shine on. Play a mass and break away. Freedom in we DNA.
Your destiny. The best way to predict it is to create it. Do you see yourself exploring exotic destinations or spending quality time with family? However you see yourself, create your own retirement destiny with Tata Life's Destiny Personal Savings Booster. Choose from one of 3 investment options with guaranteed minimum investment returns to secure a monthly retirement income for life, with the option to choose your retirement age. So what's your retirement destiny? Call 62TATIL or visit tatil.co.tt to learn more today. Conditions apply. Tatil Life, a member of the Answer Makal Group.
Jimmy's Holiday Resorts has 1, 2, and 3 bedroom, fully self-contained apartments located at the heart of Crown Point. Minutes walk to the popular beaches, restaurants, bars, and the airport. Enjoy our amazing amenities such as fully equipped apartments, complete with Wi-Fi, AC, TV, and a pool, and a mini-mart on the compound. Call 639-8292 or 8929. Jimmy's Holiday Resorts is your family's home away from home.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your nice can't get damaged bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. Never ever worry if sickness catch you off guard. I tell them never ever worry if times fall on you real hard. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil will always be here for you. Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. We're just at about 7:33 a.m. This morning, and indeed we're preparing to welcome our guests joining us online. Adana, who do we have joining us online this morning?
We are speaking with R. Irvin Padier, President, Founder, Men of Purpose, and he is online and joining us this morning. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Thanks so much for this interview.
Yes, indeed. And we get the conversation started. We're diving right on in. Interesting focus for the workshop. The world needs a father. And I wondered, and Adana and I were just discussing off here, would this just be a focus on God? Is this about the role of men and fathers? So tell us a little bit about this workshop. The world needs a father.
The World Needs a Father workshop is taking place right in lovely Tobago. Not that I need an excuse to come back to Tobago. I'm from Trinidad, but I love Tobago. But it's happening on the 15th to the 17th of March. That's this Friday to Sunday. The World Needs a Father workshop is a workshop that was conceptualized by a man by the name of Cassie Castens from South Africa. And as a missionary, he realized that being a white missionary from South Africa, he realized that he needed to reach the black population. And what he did to reach them was sports, football. He was a rugby player, a national rugby player. But, most black Africans, they don't like rugby because rugby was considered a white sport. So to bridge the gap, he used, as we know it to be football, soccer, he calls it, to bring the black South Africans into his camp because they were all in refugee camp. And because of the great success that he received from that program, he realized that a lot of the youths that were coming into that camp were fatherless. And from then on, he started to research and realizing now that fatherlessness is great around the world. Fatherlessness is one of the great problems of society. And to bridge the gap that we have right now to reach the young people, we intend to raise men, leaders from different communities in Trinidad and as we are doing right now in Tobago to reach men to become mentors, to train other young men because it may sound strange, but one of the reasons we are doing this workshop is to remind the man who he really is.
And I like
That's the
that.
main concept of it.
I like that because a man knowing who he is, he has so much power, you know. We just celebrated International Women's
Yes.
Day and Julian is advocating for us to have that emphasis also when International Men's Day come. And I always say to people around me that when a man knows who he is and he walks in that power, he can be so amazing. So I like the fact that you're talking about a man knowing who he is. What are some of the activities that will be taking place at this workshop to reach your goals of empowering and mentoring young boys?
Oh, great question. Well, we had a workshop last year in Victory Heights. And that workshop, as you probably know, Victory Heights is a camp. So the workshop took a camp sort of feel. So imagine having men 3 days in a camp, just talking, just bonding and just fellowshipping and just learning. This workshop Friday to the Sunday, we'll be doing training, in-depth training, such as father wounds, a man confirms potential purpose, and his role as a father and as a man in the home. He creates the temperature in the home. That's speaking on terms of just the basic concept of the training. But on the Saturday, we are taking a break from the training and we are heading to Canaan Bonaccord Recreation Grounds to do some bonding, or as I call it, sports fellowship. We are going to do some cricket, probably some football. We are going to meet with some of the young people in the area. We are going to have basketball, some fun events. We want to have a father versus sons type of small goal competition. So we want to invite the community to come out. This evening will be for the entire community, not for men only, as the workshop is. On the Sunday, after the workshop finishes, we want to invite some of the young men from the area and the community again to come and take part in spoken word. We're going to have a concert. We're going to have the men probably do some special songs on the workshop, so we'll be spontaneous and we're going to see some real Tobago talent being showcased during this time. After that, we have a rites to passage graduation ceremony on the Sunday. So it's going to be very, very excited. And I'm looking forward for this great workshop in your lovely island.
All right. And I'm happy that you would have mentioned the fact that the lineup of activities caters openly in terms of families coming out and support, with the exception of the workshop itself. I want you to give us a sense of the age group or the target for persons that you are looking at from our men folk for the workshop. What's the target group?
The target group is men 18 to beyond. That's the target group, 18 to beyond. Because you will agree or disagree if you want to, that just because you turn 18 doesn't mean you're an adult. Or just because you're a 50-year-old man doesn't mean that you are able to guide another man. There's a crisis that's going on in the world today, that we have 40-year-olds that are still hooked on their PlayStations and their Xboxes, and they can't relate to being that man. We have a crisis of identity which will be targeting, because we need our men to understand who they are and their purpose in the family, in their community, and in the nation. So I believe if we start building these men from this place, we will have a better family. We'll have wives not complaining as much, and we'll have children loving their fathers once, and we have the community respecting the man once again.
It's really amazing how you have connected it, because I always make the point, a happy home really leads to a better community, ultimately.
Yes,
And we know that if
that's
we
right.
know that if the ladies aren't so happy, sometimes what can happen in that home. Not that we are here to speak about that, but we're just saying it is important to note that the collective of the home is important to be happy, so that we are able to move our society
Yes.
forward in a particular direction. I want to just get from you very quickly before we close this morning's interview. Men of Purpose is the organization hosting. Tell us a little bit about the organization, and is it open to persons who may be involved in providing that level of support and being a part of the organization of Men of Purpose?
Men of Purpose has been an organization that was founded over 13 years ago by myself. I'm the president and founder of the group. I will let you know something. It's open for any man, but the group is not limited to men. In fact, we have a lot of women working in the background. You would be surprised. This workshop wouldn't be successful as it is without women working to support the men of purpose. So we have a connection. We have what we call a community working together to lift up men. This group was founded on myself seeing the need to reach out to young men. I myself have been very grateful to have very, very significant men in my life. My spiritual father, who is dead and gone, the late Bishop Ruthven Daniel, a man that pushed me into purpose from a very young age. And my father was there, very instrumental there to guide me. A man of very few words, but was able to push me, never discourage me. In fact, he will be a part of the workshop, my father. And I have a community of men that was able to instill in me values. But growing up, I realized that some of my peers didn't have what I had, didn't have that type of background. I could have been doing anything, anywhere right now, making excuses why I should not be the man that God called me to be, or the man that I should be. But because of these principles, because of God being instilling in my life, Men of Purpose was born out of this need. And from since then till now, we have been doing workshops, conferences, seminars to help men become who they are. Right now, our focus is these workshops. This workshop, the World Need a Father, these 3-day workshops. After these 3-day workshop will be completed, we'll be doing 1-day workshops all around the country called In the Man Cave. That's another session that I would invite you to be a part of. You would love it. It's men coming together. No phone, no social media, no woman, just to talk about what's affecting the man and how we can improve as men. So our focus right now is to
That's some of
train
the men.
trainers. This workshop, yes, this workshop is to train traders,
Yes.
training men how to train other men, and the men who are coming to this workshop will be able to go back to their organization, to their churches, to the community, to their family, train their sons, train their co-workers, and train their entire nation
All
to
right,
become
certainly.
men of purpose.
Thank you so much indeed. And I'm already thinking of men, putting aside those devices and really coming together. Get ready, Anton Parks, Mr. Nana himself, Aaron, the entire team, Friends of Tobago Updates. Excellent opportunity to reflect from a different perspective, because we've gotten so engrossed sometimes with the technology in itself. We at times lose focus, so it gives that ability for refocus. So we want to remind you, viewers, we've been speaking with Irvin Apadier, President and founder of Men of Purpose, and we're looking out for the upcoming workshops. The World Needs a Father, series of activities, and we're encouraging you to head on out and support. Viewers, we want to thank you so much for continuing to tune into the Tobago Updates morning show, and we take this opportunity to remind you that this is your chance to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Scrub Ties brings to you our organic fat dissolving shots. Yes, guys, our lemon butter shot breaks down stubborn fat, tightens any loose skin while increasing your metabolism. No side effects, no downtime. We also offer cavitation, cellulite treatment, butt, breast, hip dip fillers, weight loss, fertility IVs, and much more. Contact us on 495-6624 or follow us on Instagram at Scrub Ties Body Contouring. It's March Madness at Standard Distributors Limited. Get $100 back for every $1,000 you spend. Major appliance deals on Frigidaire, Hyacinth, Samsung, and more. Plus, same-day financing options available. Don't miss out. Sale ends March 31st. Standard, never beaten on quality and prices.
Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. It's 7:49 a.m. So if you're making it to work for 8, you have 11 minutes to drop the children off to school and to get there to work in time for 8. Remember to drive safe on the nation's roads. We want to ensure your safety going and coming. Okay, there's a slight change in our programming this morning. We're speaking with Mr. Kamil Ali. He's a director of Masjid Tawna at the Lowlands Masjid there. And we're talking about the holy month of Ramadan. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. It's a pleasure being here. And let me say good morning to the beautiful people of Tobago. And also, I wish the Muslim community Ramadan Mubarak and the Muslim greeting of Assalamu alaikum, which means peace and blessings to you.
Thank you so much, and the very same to you as well. Yes. So we're talking about the holy month of Ramadan. Trinidad and Tobago is multicultural, yes. And so we have an idea as to what this is, and we've been celebrating over the years. So what type of activities can we look forward to, and when does the actual month begin, or are we already in the month of Ramadan, and what has been happening?
Right. So the month of Ramadan started last night. It was the start of the month of Ramadan. Ramadan is the 9th month in the Islamic calendar, and today marks the first day of fasting. As the years go by, people get more interested in the month of Ramadan because, as you say, we are a multicultural society. Trinidad and Tobago is such a wonderful place where interreligious faith are concerned. So the month of Ramadan is basically two important aspects. One is the fasting was made compulsory during the month of Ramadan. And our holy book, which is the Quran, was revealed in the month of Ramadan. Now, fasting is a period of 29 or 30 days. So today begins our first fast. The fast starts at break of dawn and we end at sunset. Now, the Muslim fast is a very, very strict fast, compared to other religions and so on. Our fast is total abstinence, from food, from drink, from relation, from from the entire day for that period of time. Now, other religions, they have their fasting also. So some people might abstain from just salt. Some people might just abstain from water and different things. But as I say, our fast is total abstinence, But the first few days, it's a bit tough. But as the days progress and so on, you get a bit more comfortable and you adjust it and so on. So as I said, that our fasting, it started today and it will continue for the period of 29 days. Now, in the afternoon, at sunset, we normally break our fast. So the month of Ramadan also, it's a time of family, it's a time of gathering, it's a time of, getting closer to your Creator. And every day we meet at the mosque at sunset. So we have our prayer in the afternoon, and then we get together to break fast, share a meal, and be with the community. It's really a community spirit oriented, and it's something that you really develop to get closer to your Creator. And this month of Ramadan really is a wonderful month because, as I say, it's a month of also giving, it's charity, getting closer to each other, and sharing, So it's really interesting to know,
Yeah, it really is interesting to learn and to know about different cultures and different religions and the way people do things, which is so different to the way we do things. And the thing about it is that our differences bring us even closer together.
Correct. Yes.
Even if it's just for the educational purposes of it. Is it that you meet every evening at the mosque for prayer?
Oh, yes, every year. No, a Muslim prayer, as we pray 5 times a day. We pray 5 times a day. There's no holiday for that. Every day of the year, we pray 5 times a day. But in the month of Ramadan, it's also a time for extra prayer. So during the night, when we meet for our last prayer, which is called the Isha prayer and so on, after we have break our fast and had meal with each other and so on, there are extra prayer that we do during the night. And also, it's a time of, getting closer to the Creator. So you pray extra to ask for, for peace, for stability, for make you to be a better person, make you to be a stronger person and so on. So that time is a very, very sacred time. So every day we gather at the mosque to break our fast in the afternoon. Now, some mosques in Trinidad, what they normally do, they just gather and they have what is called the iftar, break of the fast, And it's a tradition that when you break the fast, you break it with like a date and water, And after you go inside the mosque, you have your prayer, then you come back out and you sit down and you have your dinner and so on with people. So this is the normal activities on a daily basis.
For the 30 days.
For the 30 days, yeah.
Okay, awesome. And in terms of you participating in this or being a Muslim and reverencing this period, how has it been for you in terms of, I know sometimes when you go through a fast, it's supposed to bring change, as you said, to bring peace and, an awareness of your Creator, to have bonds with your family and loved ones. How has the experience been for you during that period when you dedicate that time for fasting for 30 days?
So this is really, really, a wonderful experience. it is a time then, it's a time of reflection, because at the same time people would say, like, we are fasting and you get so hungry and you're starving and so on. But it's a time to think about, those people all around the world who have no meal. Because, there are some countries right now that people break their fast and they only have dates and water, but they have no dinner to eat and so on. So we have to be so thankful and so grateful that, we are so blessed in Trinidad and Tobago, We have so much of food, so much to drink, so much to eat, so much to share with and so on. So as I said, the connection with your Creator brings you closer. And also, at that point in time, the fasting, it develops you both physically, spiritually, mentally, psychologically. It is now proven medically how fasting helps a person. And even person who have like illness or diabetes and so on, they still fast because it has a lot of benefits for that person. Because when you're fasting throughout the day, it levels your blood sugar and these kind of things. So the medical benefits of fasting, if you look it up and so on, is tremendous. So one has to analyze, people think that, like these days we know that the sun is very hot, it's very humid and so on, and how would you make out anything? So we go back again. It's a time that you reflect upon, that missing that meal, but there are so much people out there who are missing meals for days, It's a time that we think about them because there's so many people like in Palestine, so many different countries, they are going through so much of hardship, so much of problem and so on. And what we have here in Trinidad and Tobago, we are truly, truly blessed, And at the same time, as I say, like we're such a multicultural society, like in Tobago, we are very close to all the religious denominations. So at times they come and they join us, to break the fast with us and so on. And just we also will go to the different place of worship, So that time is really, really a communal time, to bond with each other and so on.
Yes, and I've seen you around at different religious institutions as well, because you're a known person and, so multicultural to the point that if I could go into my own story, my brother, we are Christians, right. I'm a Christian, and my brother is married to a Hindu,
wow.
Right? And so the families, they gel so well together, and we respect each other's, religion, course, and, we work together as a family, and I want to see that continuing in our communities, that we respect each other's choices and that we support each other. Because at the end of the day, we all want the same thing, which is to live in peace.
Yes.
Right? And to live in safe environments and communities. I want to wish you all the very best for this month of Ramadan, for you and your congregation, and for all the persons who meet at the mosque to fast. I pray for strength for you guys as you go through this period. And I pray that at the end of it, you all become better people, you have a good experience, and that your goals are achieved. So all the very best to you. Congratulations, and for encouraging people also to come and join you. Thank you so much for coming this morning and for just giving us some more information and some insight into the actual operations in terms of what the fast is like. I know it's going to be tough, as you said, the sun is scorching, but as I said, I pray peace for you, I pray for strength for you, and endurance as you go through this period, this holy month of Ramadan. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been speaking with Camille Ali, and we're talking about the holy month of Ramadan and fasting. And of course, we just want to pray for their strength and their endurance during this tough time. And at the end of the 30 days, they will be the better for it. All right, this is where we end the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. But we don't end our programming here. We continue on with Tobago Notes and then GMT with Candice Jackson. So we ask that you stay with us, and while you stay, we invite you to share the live, share the live, share the live.
The effects of marijuana on users was one of the major topics participants learned about during the 4th annual Substance Misuse Symposium hosted by the Alcohol and Drug Abuse Prevention Program, ADAP. Dr. Cherish Allen, who's attached to the Mental Health Unit of the DRHA, explained the effects of marijuana on the body, effects which can eventually lead to dependence on this drug.
So it has something in mental health that we call cannabis use disorder. In short, cannabis use disorder is actually addiction to cannabis. Many people that I have met who use cannabis, like people on the ward, they tend to say, yeah, but I'm not addicted, doc. I could stop anytime I want. But as soon as you're out of hospital, it's right back to the marijuana again. You'll find that you always find a reason that you need to use it. It's like, yeah, I could stop it, but I need it for this. That in itself is an addiction and a dependence on the substance.
This year's theme, as the Secretary would have indicated, is People First, Stop Stigma and Discrimination, Strengthen Prevention. The campaign aims to combat stigma and discrimination against substance misusers by promoting language and attitudes that are respectful and non-judgmental.
How do you withstand the fact that the entire room is calling you a bad name because you are the only one who does not want to take that sip of alcohol or does not want to smoke that joint or whatever it is? It means actually giving people the skills to withstand those shocks that happen within our lives. So I am happy that ADAP continues to do the work that is required to ensure that young people like you young people in the room get the skills.
ADAP's symposium was held in commemoration of the United Nations International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Welcome to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates, your source for current affairs in Tobago, Trinidad, and the region. With a perfect conversation to complement your morning routine, I am Candace Jackson, and let's get started with the news in 90 seconds. A 20-year-old resident in Tobago, Jamal Samuel from Signal Hill, has been charged with the murder of 28-year-old Winaya Kareem and the injury of another 28-year-old on January 1st, 2024. The charges include murder, shooting with intent to cause grievous bodily harm, possession of a firearm, and possession of ammunition. Samuel appeared virtually before Master of the High Court, Sarah De Silva, in Scarborough and was remanded into custody. His next court appearance is scheduled for June 3rd, 2024. One private promoter is attempting to fill the void after the Tobago Jazz Experience was cancelled by the THA. Black Two Sugars announced a Tobago Jazz and Music Weekend from April 25th to the 28th. The event promises diverse, budget-friendly experiences featuring artists like Grammy Award winner Arturo Topping, along with Elan Pearl and Vonget Bigfoot. The weekend comprises of Two of Us, Come Eden, Poolside Lime, Beachfront Jazz at Starfish Hotel, and the grand finale, Brunch on the Greens at the Fairways Restaurant and Lounge. Up next, the National Security Joint Select Committee rejected opposition members Dr. Ruda Munilal and Jayanti Lachpidiyal's request to investigate recent events at the Strategic Services Agency. This includes the director's administrative leave, the appointment of an acting director, and a review of the agency's operations. Committee Chairman Keith Scotland stated that the request was denied following proper parliamentary procedures. Munilal expressed disappointment, citing a lack of official information, and suggested the committee could have met in camera to address sensitive matters. And finally, Haiti's Prime Minister Ariel Henry has resigned amid escalating chaos in the nation marked by gang attacks and imminent social collapse. In a video address late last night, Henry announced his government's departure on the establishment of a transitional council, emphasizing the need for peace and stability. Henry, facing pressure and unrest, has been unable to return to Haiti since his trip to Kenya and will remain in his role until the formation of a new interim government. And was the news in 90 seconds. And viewers, getting straight on into our program this morning now. For this segment, we are going to be focusing on what's been happening with jazz. We saw the announcement last Friday by the THA, the official announcement, and of course that the jazz is going to be cancelled for this year. However, we've been hearing from the Chief Secretary for quite a while now that it was unlikely that there would be a jazz this year, but of course the official announcement only came on Friday. Now, just to give us some perspective, I am being joined by Mr. Dexter Plant, and he's the Managing Director of Dexter and Promotions. So good morning and welcome to you. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning. I'm doing pretty okay. It's nice to be in Tobago. Always lovely.
Certainly great to have you. Yeah. Now, we're not having any jazz this year. I mean, what's your view on that?
Well, from yesterday, it's not that they're not having any jazz. It's probably they're not having a THA jazz.
Yes.
Right? So I'm an optimist, and I think that it's an opportunity for promoters in Tobago or promoters in Trinidad also to look at the market, look at the space, and it's an opportunity for them to come into the space and make good of the opportunity. I know that the planning of jazz is a huge event. People have legitimate expectations in that the vendors, the stakeholders, prior to the official cancelling, may have had plans. And it's just unfortunate that the statement may have come a bit late. Mm-hmm. But, it's always better late than never. And I think the fact that it came a bit late, some people may feel undone. But we are having jazz in some respect, and I think people just need to look at the opportunity that it presents and cash in on it. We have a lot of local stakeholders who may be having, like vendors and taxi drivers. A lot of people will come to the island because there's a very wide following of jazz in Trinidad and Tobago. I mean, it may be a little, the crowd may be a little less because what we are used to before is sort of a music festival where you have international artists coming to the fore. This time around, it's more pure jazz-based event. And you find that jazz-based events attract jazz-based clientele, mm-hmm. which might be a little less than the music festival would attract, because people might be coming to see an international artist like a Babyface or a Jill Scott, while now you come in to see a tour pattern, and not everybody might be signed on to a tour pattern. But like I said, I believe the fact that there is jazz presents a really good opportunity for stakeholders in Tobago to cash in, taxi drivers, fashion designers, to get their clothing sold. And I think we just need to look at the opportunities that it presents, grab it with both hands, and make the best of it.
So when it comes to just how things have progressed over the years, and when you look back at how the Tobago Jazz Festival started, of course under CLICO and so on, and then afterwards the THA took it over, do you think that it was, that it should have been going this direction where the THA sort of stepped back and let the private promoters come on board and see what they could do to take this forward?
Well, like I say, everything in life is really phases. And I think we had one phase of jazz where we had CLICO, a big conglomerate running the show. We had really international artists of the highest class. And then we moved to another phase where THA took over. And then we are in another phase. The thing about these things is that there's no good time to quit, or there's no good time to come out of the space as the senior financial sponsor. And the fact that THA would have come out of this space now people might feel, well, okay, you know, how are we going to get this thing sponsored? Because it's a big event. But like the ad said, it's a sort of different type of jazz. It's more local with a couple Caribbean artists. And I think the opportunity provides that if a private promoter has the resources, that he can make do. You know, he can do well. You know, so I support the event. The fact that it has come to this, if anybody has been looking at the jazz landscape, the conversation would have been there already. I'm not in the space of the House of Assembly to know if they had engaged private promoters, so I won't speak on that. But I think the conversation has been out there before, lagging, that at some point in time, THA may come out of the jazz space. And like I said, I think it's a good opportunity now for whoever claims the space to really take it with both hands and make good of it.
How do you see jazz, you know, when you look at it, especially from a private promoter perspective, going forward? What do you see it becoming?
Well, there's a large following of local jazz in Trinidad. And I think as an event, I think there's enough patronage that could make it a success. So I'm not intimidated, and the promoter should not be intimidated. I think it's a good direction. I think you could probably fuse it with other things, you know, probably like a wine festival inside of it and that kind of stuff. But I mean, it's an opportunity that would present itself. You know, I think if you look at, let's look at one of the events in Trinidad, like there's a jazz and beach branches. I mean, I have looked at that jazz, and over time it has grown.
And that's in Northside Jazz?
Yeah. And if you look at the jazz on the greens, over time it has grown, and it is attracting a lot of people. So I think Tobago, the jazz supporters, is an opportunity to come have a beautiful weekend, enjoy beautiful Tobago. And I think it would do well. You just have to market it well. The thing about jazz is marketing, because you are speaking to a selected dynamic group, and market well. And once you put your stuff out there, I think you would get some patronage. You know, yeah.
And you know, when you also look at just even the people that attend to jazz. Now, you mentioned earlier that jazz has a specific niche, right? Do you think it would be as big as it was, let's say, you know, when you look at what it was during Clico times, or maybe what it was when we had John Legend here, and so on, you know, do you see it going that direction at all, or do you see it, you know, just remaining or remaining these little niche events that happen, you know, at various places in Tobago? Like give us an idea.
All right. Well, I mean, honestly, when you have artists to the caliber of John Legend and Stevie Wonder, it's difficult for local jazz to attract that same volume of people. But the promoter has to know that he's speaking to a certain niche market, and he has to tailor his events and his expenses to that market. So I don't expect him to prepare like if he's having a John Legend or a Jill Scott, right? In the same way that he's preparing for a tour tapping and a Bigfoot, you know. So I think it's up to the promoter. Clearly, Tobago will not see the crowds of John Legend and those that went before, but there will be crowds. And like I said, it's an opportunity to fuse the jazz with other things that may attract another dynamic of people. And there's nothing wrong with including other artists in this sort of local jazz setting. I just think that this is the first year, and there's an opportunity for the promoter to look at what is on the horizon, and then moving forward, he can plan properly. And then who knows, he might be able to afford a couple big artists with sponsorship, and then the jazz may come back to what it was before, and even bigger. So like I said, you just have to stay in a positive light. I think it's a good thing. It's a good thing for Tobago. I just think that Tobago needs to come out and support the event.
Certainly. And when you even look at how the THA should support it going forward, because we've heard from the Chief Secretary many times that, he thinks that, of course, that this should be a private sector-led thing. And, then the THA could support in other ways. How do you think that the THA should be a support for something like this going forward?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't like to speak for the Chief Secretary because I don't know the sort of resources that he has available to him in terms of sponsorship, because I know now it's a kind of critical time with the economy for all governments, and not just Trinidad and Tobago, but internationally. And so I'm not in his shoes, so I really don't want to touch on that subject, but I think that Tobago as an island will benefit from jazz.
Right.
And I think that the executive of the THA knows that. And I think that once the promoter approaches them, I think that they are very reasonable people. And I think that some form of sponsorship will be forthcoming. I think that they know that Tobago is not the industrial capital that you can, or the manufacturing capital, or have sectors that would render sponsorship readily to events in Tobago, like in Trinidad, where you have large private companies. Tobago is basically the THA, So I think that they are quite aware of that. And I think that some level of sponsorship will be given.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, well, for this Easter, of course, we're returning with Hush.
Yeah. Well, this is the 10th year of Hush. We want to have a really grand celebration. We have been looking at the landscape in Tobago, and we know that we don't see as much people coming to Tobago as before, since COVID, I think. And there had been other challenges with flights and the boats and stuff. But we are looking forward to a really grand event. We hope that the people of Tobago come out and support the event. It's 10 years. We have been providing a quality event for the island. And so this year would be no different. I think this year we are actually providing a eat all you can, drink all you can, because it's our 10th year anniversary, So
tell me a little bit more about what we can expect for this 10th year anniversary.
Well, we're bringing two artists. We have Warix, who is the future of soca, I think, once guided in the right direction. And then we have Iwa, who is the first entertainer who had ever performed at a Hush event. We felt that it was really a time that we could have brought him back to deliver. So we have Iwa and we have Warix. And we have some local DJs. We have Selector 3D, which is really good. And we have a couple DJs from Trinidad also to help produce the vibe. We have Isel and John Boy. We have Loud and Bashi. We have Ishmael. We have Assassin also. All right, so I think with the cast that we have a really good cast to provide really good vibes. So I think we're in a really good place for Easter. I think the table is set. Just come out and have fun.
And how can people get tickets and so on?
Well, the tickets have been sold at Island Events, and then we have Terata, we have Jade Monkey, and then we have committee members. We have myself, Dexter, and if you follow the Instagram page at Hush the Event, there's a list of committee members who are selling tickets. And then, as I said, there's Nice Things, there's Terata Leathercraft, and there's Jade Monkey, and there is Island E-Tickets. All right?
All right. And then, I just want to talk just a little bit as we get ready to wrap up, though, about some of the challenges that you also face as an event promoter, in these last couple of years. Tell me about those challenges and how you guys have been able to navigate and even to re-strategize the way that you plan events and so on, so that you can still make some bit of profit, even if it's a little bit different from what it used to be before.
Well, the thing with these events in Tobago, Tobago is a risky landscape. Sometimes you hit and sometimes you don't. But you have a brand. You have to trust your brand. You have people out there. You have fans. You have a fan base. You have your patrons that is expecting every year at Easter Monday morning to see Hush. So you just have to take the risk. It is a risk. Once you put your money into business, it is a risk. And you have to come out, put your best foot forward, and hope that, people come out, patronize the event as they normally do, and that everybody have a good time. The promoter gets some profit, and the people have some fun. And but over the years, it has been a challenge, I must say. But the downturn since after COVID, I don't think that the country is still at full swing yet. And some people during the period have made conscious decisions to decide, look, I really don't want to do crowded events anymore. And some people who would have had ailments that they didn't discover until COVID, they are now aware and decide to stay away from those type of events. And then there's a new generation of people coming out now that you have to cater for. And you just have to be mindful as a promoter and tweak your events to suit the time, and hope that you reap the success that you aim to achieve.
Okay, cool. All right. So, well, folks, you know that Hush is still happening this year. And in case you want to know and you want to get connected with the tickets, of course, you can go on Island E-Tickets and check out the committee members and so on. Make sure you get your tickets and go to Hush because, of course, we know it's 10 years.
Yes, and there's no place to be.
There's no place to be. And it's going to be happening where again?
Mount Irvin. At Mount
Irvin. Great.
Right. There's a beautiful view overlooking the sea, having breakfast, and the vibes would be right up. All right?
Certainly.
All right, cool.
So a lot to look forward to. So thank you so much, Jackson, for being on with us. And viewers, don't go anywhere. We've got a lot more coming up for you after the break.
Rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise.
Rotisserie, mouth-watering fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Come and see. Our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala, and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory.
No place like home, home, home.
Oh, I love Tobago, baby.
When we outside, it's an ocean of love. All that we align to the stars up above. Let we dance now, take a chance now with me. And we go jump till morning. Look, the moon don't sleeping. Tell them we not leaving. Till the last drop of a canal is madness in the capital. So I feel like I run in tongue again. Jump and shake the ground again. We with all my friends and them. No place like home. 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 We go jump till the moon come down. It's we who the stars shine on. Play a mass and break away. Freedom in we DNA. Yeah. Hey. Tobago updates.
And welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates. Viewers, I'm now being joined by Mr. Logan Williams, and he is a data scientist and researcher and software developer with Bellingcat. And of course, if you've been following what's been happening with the oil spill investigations and to, the ongoing task of trying to track down the ownership of that vessel that's still on our shores, trying to track down the vessel of the tugboat, the Solar Creed, and so on. You would have seen the articles. And of course, they also collaborated with the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian to do some investigations into the ownership. And they got some information. And we're going to be getting into that a little bit this morning. So a special good morning and welcome to you, Mr. Williams. How are you?
I'm well. Good morning. Thank you for having me again.
Certainly, my pleasure. And now, I just want to start by asking you, have you found any more information in regards to the ownership of these vessels? So before we get into the rest of the investigation and what you guys have already published, has there been anything new that has popped up in recent times?
So far, we haven't found any new information besides what we already published about the two supposed owners.
Mm-hmm. And, as these investigations continue with your team and of course with the team here in Trinidad and Tobago, what's been the take? What's been your opinions about it so far?
Yeah, I think it's been a really interesting process working with the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian on this latest research, and we've been very happy to have a local partner because at Bellingcat, what we do is all about investigating open source information or publicly available information that we can find out there in the world on the internet and satellite imagery and so on. And that can be really useful, especially when there isn't much else out there to look at. But what we've found with this latest investigation is that we're starting to reach some of the limits of what we can find through publicly available documents. And I think what I'm really hopeful is that the next steps can be taken by the local journalists in Trinidad and Tobago, in Guyana, in Panama, to follow up on some of the connections and documents and so forth that we've detailed in our report in The Guardian and Bellingcat.
And let's get into the article itself and just some of the information that you found. After looking at the documents of the ownership of the Solar Creed and so on, and the Gulf Stream, it was tied to a company all the way in Zanzibar. So just expand a little bit on that connection.
Sure. So oftentimes we have ships that are registered in countries that are very far from where they're owned or where they're operated. These are called flags of convenience. And this can be done to avoid taxes, for instance, or to make it more difficult to discover the ownership of the vessel. So these ships we found were registered in Tanzania with the Zanzibar Maritime Authority, which is a fairly popular flag of convenience, increasingly so in recent years. And they were actually rather helpful to us and confirmed some of the ownership registration documents that we had obtained, which was useful for pursuing who we suspected the owner might be.
And then, of course, you also found that there were some connections with the owners of themselves, some connections with dealings in Guyana and with PDVSA, and so just give me a little bit of those details there.
Sure. So what we found was that the ship the Solo Crade had been registered with the Zanzibar Maritime Authorities under the ownership of someone named Melissa Gonzalez. And Melissa Gonzalez, we discovered through company registration documents in Panama, was connected to a company called Melage Offshore Corporation, as well as several other companies that seem to involve the same people. And this was really interesting because the last photo that was posted on the internet of the Solo Crade before the incident was posted by someone with the username Melage Offshore Corporation. So we were digging into Milage Offshore Corporation and discovered that in 2019, they had been contracted by PDVSA in Venezuela just after the United States started applying sanctions to Venezuelan oil to continue carrying oil out of Venezuela. So the company has a history of working with PDVSA to transport Venezuelan oil. And we also discovered that one of the main people involved in this company, a man by the name of
to do is WhatsApp us at 272-1990 and we will give you guys the best prices on all hardware material. That is a guarantee as we are matching or beating any quotations.
Rotisserie fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Come and see. Our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala, and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and on Friday 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory.
Your destiny. The best way to predict it is to create it. Do you see yourself exploring exotic destinations or spending quality time with family? However you see yourself, create your own retirement destiny with Tata Life's Destiny Personal Savings Booster. Choose from one of 3 investment options with guaranteed minimum investment returns to secure a monthly retirement income for life, with the option to choose your retirement age. So what's your retirement destiny? Call 62-TATIL or visit tatil.co.tt to learn more today. Conditions apply. Tatil Life, a member of the Ansa Makal Group.
Tobago on Tobago updates and views. I just want to apologize for that technical glitch, but we are back online, and we still have Mr. Logan Williams from Bellingcat with us. And of course, he is one of the researchers and investigators that are part of the team that's looking into the ownership of the vessels, of course, the Solar Creed and the Gulfstream, which has been responsible for that oil spill here in Tobago just over a month ago. And, before we had the glitch, Mr. Williams, you were speaking just a little bit about tracking the ownership in Zanzibar and so on. So yes, I guess we could continue off where we lost you.
Sure. So I was just saying that the company that we'd connected the ownership of the Solo Creed to, this company called Milage Offshore Corporation, had a history in 2019 of working with PDVSA. And in 2016, one of the owners of Milage Offshore Corporation was involved in a oil transportation deal or fuel transportation deal that went wrong and resulted in several court cases in Guyana as well. So this company that we've linked to this barge has a history of working in both Venezuela and Guyana.
Is that when you also reached out to one of the owner of, or at least a person who is registered to the Gulfstream, was that message, that text message exchange where, we had Asha Javid was inquiring about, the vessel itself, and, his opinion, his take on it was, these things happen. So what?
Yeah, it was really, I couldn't believe it when I read that message. And this was after we reached out to the owner of Milage Offshore Corporation. He claimed that no, he wasn't the owner, and the real owner was this person in Nigeria, who we then started talking to, who claimed that, well, he did claim that he owned both the Gulfstream and the Solo Creed. He said that he had no insurance on them, that he was carrying the barge to Nigeria, and that after it sunk, he kept sailing the area. And there were several things here that didn't make sense or that were even quite shocking. Not having insurance, for instance. Mm-hmm. And as you said, to say that such an accident is just an inevitability is extremely irresponsible, of course. And we also found court records in Panama from just a few months ago that show that it wasn't, this was actually a completely foreseeable and avoidable accident. The barge had a record of having leaks. It nearly sunk at the port, according to the court records. Anyone could have seen that this wasn't a vessel that was equipped to fill with oil or fuel and sail in the sea. And yet it happened, and it resulted in this environmental disaster.
So, it leaves us in Tobago, after we read, a lot of people read this information, we were like, then how do we get someone to pay, who pays for the impact that it's having? Because on the environment, it's having quite a massive impact, and we don't quite know even how far-reaching this is, because of course it's affecting one of our mangroves, it's affecting one of our reefs, and we might not know for a couple more years the impact it's going to have on certain types of fish and marine creatures and all these other things. So then, where does this even leave a small country like us in trying to figure out who should pay for it?
That's a really great question, and I wish I had a clear answer here. I'm not a maritime lawyer myself. It's not my background. What I believe would normally cover things like this is a form of insurance called P&I insurance. Mm-hmm. But it's unclear, who the insurer is for this vessel. It's unclear if they even had insurance. The owner we talked to on WhatsApp claims that they didn't. And even if they did have insurance might not pay out if it was a case of negligence. which we don't have enough information to say it was, but certainly that seems like a possibility as well with the history of the barge.
Certainly. And have you detected the solar craters yet from your searches on the satellite imagery and so on? Have you been able to, has it popped up anywhere in the world?
I've been looking, I can tell you that, but no, so far we haven't found proof of the solocrete anywhere from satellite imagery or from local observations.
All right, and when after doing some of the searching and so on, what has been the reaction that you've been getting from the international public? What are people saying about just some of the information that you've been putting out there?
Yeah, I think one of the things that this is continuing to show and that surprises people that aren't familiar with the world of international shipping is just how hard it is to find accountability when things go wrong in international waters or in international voyages. There's a lot of layers to hide the real owner of vessels, not only the Gulf Stream and the solocrete, but this is quite common even for more legitimate ships as well. And I think that that's something that has been getting more attention as a result of this unfortunate incident.
Do you think that this situation could even help us in the world shed some light on what's been going on with the illegal fuel trade and that sort of thing? Because, for years we've been hearing how much billions of dollars is being traded on an annual basis. In fact, we don't exactly know the figure, but we know it's happening. Do you think that this is perhaps a catalyst into getting to the bottom of some of these things and getting a better handle on it?
I'd like to think it could be. This is a big issue, however, as I'm sure you know, bigger than just this one ship and this one company. But hopefully this makes it more difficult for companies that are skirting regulations or operating in the dark to keep doing so without any scrutiny.
Also, that challenge of the flag of convenience, which is one of the major issues that we're facing right now. We've been trying to track the actual ownership and have them to be accountable.
Yeah, exactly. Better required record keeping of vessel ownership would help a lot. But of course, even that isn't necessarily going to solve everything. As we saw in this case, because the vessel was a barge, it wasn't tracked in the same way as other ships. And this isn't the only fuel barge that's sailing around the Caribbean. Lots of these barges work for 20 or 30 years in the United States, where they're quite common, and then they're sold and they end up in South America and in the Caribbean, and there isn't a lot of ability to track those. And as they get older, unfortunately, of an accident or a preventable incident like this happening becomes greater and greater.
Certainly. Well, Mr. Williams, as we're getting ready to wrap up this interview this morning, I just want to, of course, thank you for being on with us. But I just want to, if you have any more words to say to us here in Tobago, we're just, hoping that we can find somebody to, to pay for this at the end of the day, because we now have to basically clean up their mess.
Yeah, exactly. And I hope that you can find accountability for that too. It's something that we're continuing to look into and are really interested in finding accountability. I just end with an open invitation. If you have information about what might have happened, if you're a journalist that's interested in using any of our research, please get in touch. Bellingcat is a nonprofit, and we're a very collaborative organization. So we want to make this as accessible and available to people in Tobago and Trinidad
And We certainly want to thank you for all the work that you're doing, unprompted, of course, just for helping us to figure out a little bit more, get a better picture as to what's happening, because I know a lot of us here, we don't necessarily have the access or the resources that you may have, but we're certainly grateful for the work that you've been doing.
Thank you very much, and I hope that there can be a positive outcome eventually.
Certainly. We're all looking on. All right, well, thank you so much. And well, viewers, we've got a lot more coming up for you on the program, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this break.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning.
Scrub Ties brings to you our organic fat dissolving shots. Yes, guys, our lemon butter shot breaks down stubborn fat, tightens any loose skin while increasing your metabolism. No side effects, no downtime. We also offer cavitation, cellulite treatment, butt, breast, hip dip fillers, weight loss, fertility IVs, and much more. Contact us on 495-6624 or follow us on Instagram at Scrub Ties Body Contouring.
Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Jimmy's Holiday Resorts has 1, 2, and 3 bedroom, fully self-contained apartments located at the heart of Crown Point. Minutes walk to the popular beaches, restaurants, bars, and the airport. Enjoy our amazing amenities such as fully equipped apartments, complete with Wi-Fi, AC, TV, and a pool, and a mini-mart on the compound. Call 639-8292 or 8929. Jimmy's Holiday Resorts is your family's home away from home. The best place to stay in Tobago is at Thorn's Place, with rates starting as low as 200 TT. Call or WhatsApp 745-7306 or 682-8676. We are located uptown Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port. Remember, at Thorn's Place, our aim is to make your stay safe and affordable.
updates. Good morning, Tobago. Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates. Viewers, now we are switching gears to talking about the International Day of Forest that's coming up just a little later on this month. So to speak to us about what is being planned for this year's observance of International Day of Forest, I am being joined by Ms. Farial Ahmed, and she is a Forest Management Officer of the Forestry Division, as well as Robert DeMatas, and he is a Forest Officer at the Forestry Division out of the THA. Good morning and welcome to you both. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning. Great, good morning.
All right, great. So I'm going to start with, what is International Forest Day?
Okay, so in 1971, World Forestry Day originated. And in 2012, the UN declared it as the International Day of Forests. So basically, this day is to highlight and emphasize the vital role that our forests play in our livelihood, in our economy, and how important it is for the survival of all living things.
Mm-hmm. And so in Tobago, what's been the observances like over the years?
Well,
over the years, we had cleanup of the Main Ridge Forest Reserve.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that has been going on for the past 6 or 7 years or so. But we had some exhibitions before in the past, but they said we decided to do both. So on the 18th of March, we'll be having a cleanup of the Main Ridge Forest Reserve.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 20th and the 21st, we plan to have an exhibition at the Botanic Gardens, where we'll invite the craftsmen and women to display their stuff, right? All natural. So from the trees, different parts of the trees, we have a fly here with some guys at Pigeon Point. They use the coconut to do their art and craft. Some did shaping in monkeys, some did birds, and all of that. So we thought it nice to have them in one area so that the population can see, Tobago can see the talented people that we have on the island here.
And why that particular type of craftsman that you guys are choosing to put on an exhibition?
Well, the theme of the exhibition is forests and innovation. So we would like to highlight, especially our local talent,
mm-hmm.
as well as we would like to educate and spread awareness at different levels, how we can use natural resources, not just timber, but how we can use all natural resources to innovatively create products. So as he said, it would be a variety of products from calabash to palm leaves being used in different ways, from mats to dishes, bowls, kitchen utensils, any of those kinds of stuff. So it's to highlight our local talent as well as really educate the youth on what they can do with natural resources.
And I want to talk a little bit even about the forest itself and how important it is to just the viability and the sustainability of Tobago.
All right, so from the forest you get everything. You have recreation, you have people that have it for spiritual or religious purposes, you have economics, even the water that WASA claims is theirs comes from the forest. Without the forest, no water. We have life, wildlife, their food, they live, and everything there. Even the hunters use that same wildlife for food, maybe for, harvest time, when the season is open.
Yes.
They can have their meat. But now that the season is closed, they'll have to stop all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's for recreation also. So you take away the forest, you take away the livelihood. Even the storm impacts will be worse if you remove the forest.
And I mean, just give us a little bit more details about that. How does the forest even protect us here in Tobago?
So simple, those people that live by the beach areas, they have trees going around their property. These trees act as windbreaks. So if you remove those trees, you best tie down your roof or something, because those that wind increase will actually remove your roof for you. So we encourage people, don't just want to just cut down every tree that they see and say it's just bush. The forest is there to protect all of us, right?
Additionally, we have a global issue of climate change and global warming. And the forest, we call it a carbon sink because it has the capacity to store carbon and combat climate change for us. That's why it's so important to sustainably manage and conserve our forests, as well as it reduces the amount of greenhouse gas emissions that we have in the atmosphere, and it would protect the planet from reaching to extreme temperatures then. But it's only so much the forest can do on its own. We have a very big part to play as human beings as well in conserving and protecting our forests.
And what are some of those ways that we can help in conserving the forests?
Right. So the first thing, education is important. Right? We have to teach people that the forests are important, and not just to cut down every tree, maybe for these sawmillers, maybe that's when they just cut trees for economic purposes. But when you move the trees, you expose the land to the heavy rains, which will cause the erosion. Tobago is an economy that depends on tourism. So now we're talking about the whole ridge to reef effect. You remove the forest, the rains come, wash away the soil. That soil ends up in the reef, right? So we have fertilization, extra fertilization of the reef area. The algae will increase and kill out the corals, and then the corals, which shall protect the island also with the reef. We have a whole major disaster in our hands. Right? So removing the forest is not just for economic, it's also for protection of the people. What we need is wise and sustainable use of the forest products.
And what about like replanting? So, of course, you could benefit from in terms of using some of the timber and the wood that's naturally in the forest. But is there a program to, as we remove some trees, we replant more trees?
Right. So the reforestation program that we have, as part of the division, they are actively involved in replanting some of those areas. The forestry division also do some planting. But at this time of the year, what we call the dry season or the fire season, we are actively engaged in protecting whatever trees are there. So we will do fire tracing around those areas to prevent the instances of wildfires. People may light illegal fires, right? So we try to protect. We also do some planting, and we encourage people, well, the sawmillers, so as they remove trees, they can plant back. So for future use.
And you're sharing quite a lot of wonderful information here this morning. And I know there's a lot of people that might be wanting to know more, because it's not just a cool drive through the forest. I mean, I know we all here in Tobago, like when we go for a drive and we go up to the forest and you breathe that air, it's such a nice, cool, refreshing air and so on. But there's a whole lot more that there is to it. So, of course, you're going to have this exhibition. And why should people come to this exhibition?
I think people should come to this exhibition to really appreciate how much we can use our forests for the betterment of our livelihood and economy, as well as to see our local craftsmen and craftswomen, as well as be educated, because the department will also have a booth where we will be sharing all our educational brochures, as well as we will be there to answer more questions when it comes to our permits. As he just talked about the fire season, right now you are supposed to be going to get your permits and so on. So it's not just for display. The vendors will also be able to sell. They would be able to sell their crafts, and you can come to our department booth to find out any information you may need. Anyone with information about need information about the exhibition can call our office. The number is on the flyer that it was just displayed, and we will be happy to answer any questions for you all.
Okay.
And additionally, the craftsmen, when I would work at cut a tree, they just take normally the main stem, because that is all they're interested in for board purposes. The other parts of the tree, the branches and all of that, stays on the ground there. These craftsmen, they take those branches, they can utilize those branches and make things like scissor sticks. So the stick doesn't take much material. So that goes to show you how much uses that one tree can have. For the sawmillers, for their main economic use, and then other craftsmen who make scissor sticks. When they rip a tree, there is the outside bark. Well, the first piece cutting, they normally discard that. And the craftsmen, that can be used. So we try to show them that you can use this to prevent wastage.
You can basically use the entire tree.
The entire tree, even the leaves. Because we do make hats from the leaves. We can make table mats from the leaves as well. So it's the leaves you can use. One of our crafters we would be highlighting, she actually takes the dried coconut and she carves it into different animals. So I'm excited for these people to really see the products and the variety of products that we are able to make.
And of course, to learn about the importance of our forest as well.
Yes.
All right. So can you just, as we're getting ready to wrap up this morning, can you just give the details as to when and where people can come to be a part of the exhibition? Is there a cost? Just all those details.
Okay. So I'll start off with the cleanup. That actually is on the 18th of March. It's a Monday, and it's in collaboration with the Tour Guide Association. We will be going to clean the Main Ridge Forest Reserve. That takes me back to one of your questions. There is a littering issue, and it falls under that, what we can do to protect our forests, right? Then the exhibition is on the 20th and 21st at Botanic Gardens from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's free entry. You would only pay if you want food. The vendors would be selling. We will have snow cones, snacks, food, as well as the exhibitors will have some products on sale.
Okay, great. All right, so there you know, folks, they have it. You can go and be a part of the exhibition, of course. I mean, and the children, this is a wonderful thing for to have our students involved, and so that they can learn how even they can have careers that help in us being able to protect our forests.
Yes, and not just using woodworking, table, chairs, and all of that.
Yes.
Right? From those manufacture of table and chairs, we still have material that remain, and those material can be used otherwise, so there's no wastage. They can come and see a guy, Mr. Curtis Winchester. He uses all his board and do craft. So that will be one of the highlights of that exhibition.
Certainly. And it's a good chance for us to patronize some of our local vendors who are doing some amazing work.
Yes.
All right, so thank you both for being on with us. And viewers, thank you for viewing. So hope you have a safe and wonderful day. And we will see you again tomorrow.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise. The energy filled us.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.